revolutionary new move. See how these families plan to buy their first property with no cash.
To own your own home without any money.
Hot Property, next.
Imagine being able to buy a house without a deposit.
You do all the work, you renovate it.
Listen up, because we've got a brand new answer to an age-old problem.
And you get the opportunity to own your own home without any money. Does that make sense?
Talk to first-time home buyers, and they'll most likely tell you that the hardest thing about buying real estate is getting the deposit together. But what if you could skip that part? Meet Chris and Vicky Williams and their 4 daughters. TJ, BJ, CJ and JJ. They all live with Vicky's parents.
So at the moment there's like 9 people living in one house.
Come on guys, let's get this all cleaned up.
They'd love to buy their own home, but there's one big problem.
We don't really have a deposit for a house, so saving for a deposit would take us
10, 15 years.
Chris and Vicky are like so many young couples. That 10% cash deposit is an overwhelming obstacle. That's why this rundown house for sale in Penrith, west of Sydney, has caught their eye.
There's a little bit of work to do, like painting and some repairs to do, cracks in the walls, plastering, but other than that, nothing major.
But if they can't come up with a deposit, how come they're out house hunting? More on that in a minute. But it turns out Chris and Vicky aren't the only ones interested in buying this place. Meet Paul and Hayley Hampton. They just got married.
It's very frustrating because we have done the sums and we know we can make the repayments. It's just the fact that we don't have that first deposit to sort of give us a head start.
And couple number 3, Arthur and Faye.
I would love it. I would love the home.
Now, Arthur's a tradie with lots of contacts. He's champing at the bit to get his hands dirty.
I guess unless you're on a 6-figure salary these days, you can't always afford to be getting someone in to do everything for you. You've actually got to roll up your sleeves and do it yourself.
All up, there are 8 buyers interested in this house, but not one of them has a deposit.
And you get the opportunity to own your own home without any money. Does that make sense?
Now, this bloke, Rick Otten, is the man with the plan. He owns the house and is going to sell it to one of these cashless buyers. And I'll tell you how straight after the break. In Penrith, this rundown 4-bedder is being sold to one of these interested parties, none of whom have a deposit.
Come on through now and tell us what you guys would like to do to this house to make it your home.
Rick Otten, the owner of the house and the brains behind the scheme, calls it sweat equity. Essentially, in lieu of paying a deposit, he wants the buyer to do a renovation.
We'll find out what it costs us to renovate it and say to somebody else who wants it, look, if you want to make our house your home, you do all the work, you renovate it.
OK, let's do the sums. You're going to have to concentrate here, so listen up. Rick bought the house for $280,000. By the time it's been renovated, Rick's valuers reckon it'll be worth $340,000. Now, banks generally only lend 90% of a property's value. So once the reno's done and the house is worth $340,000, the banks will be happy to stump up a loan for $306,000, 90%. So that's what Rick sells it for, $306,000. The buyer does a reno instead of paying the $34,000 deposit, and Rick pockets a cool $26,000 for himself.
Thanks for coming along, everybody.
The catch for all these buyers who are desperate to get into the market is that they have to renovate the property to Rick's standards using their money and their labour. Only then will he hand over the keys.
Guys, it's always hard for us, and I want to thank you all for coming out today, but the problem we always have, we have too many people and always too few houses.
Using sweat equity, Rick sold over 90 houses. Today, there's no standout candidate, so he's picking 3 semi-finalists.
First of all, Arthur and Faye, Jackie, Tim and Tony, and Hayley and Paul. Thank you very much.
That's great news for some, not so good for others.
Go back to the mother-in-laws, obviously. and then just look for somewhere that's decent that can fit us in.
In just a moment, we'll find out who, from the final three, will get the no deposit house. In Penrith, three buyers are competing to purchase this rundown home. Newlyweds Paul and Hayley Hampton.
Or is that more like a 9 to 5 permanent job?
No, it's a permanent casual.
Tradie Frank and his girlfriend Faye.
You'd be pretty connected with a lot of people in the trades, wouldn't you?
Plus Tim, Jackie and Jackie's brother Tony. They're super keen to get going.
But we'd love this place.
Yeah. Be like winning the lottery.
Yeah, for us, yeah.
Rick's sweat equity deal is attractive to all these buyers because they can get into the housing market without the need for an upfront deposit. So Rick and his We Buy Houses team can afford to be picky about who he chooses to let in. He's got to have confidence in their renovating ability.
I think Jackie, Tim and Tony are going to do a pretty good job. And they're
So
doing a
I
little
think
bit.
they can do a great job.
Yeah.
It's the women that I watch. And my wife especially is brilliant at this. She'll watch the women and we'll watch to what degree the women connect with the house. Now, I tell you, let's look at the next one, Hayley and Paul.
Right. You know what I really like about this couple is that she already went to the internet to know how much they would be approved for.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you think about this couple?
I like them. Yeah, I think they can do the work too. I think
All three couples have something to offer. It's going to be hard to decide who should get the house.
I tell you now, if we had 3 houses today, we would give a house to every one of you. All 3 of you qualify for the house for what we're looking for. But the bottom line is we have to pick down to one, and that's it. I'd like to congratulate Hayley and Paul for owning your own home.
Paul and Hayley are pinching themselves.
Just didn't expect it because nothing usually goes our way. But it was a very nice welcome surprise.
Yeah.
A nice surprise it may be, but let's not forget one thing. They've got to finish the reno in 6 weeks and do this while they keep working their day jobs.
We give them the key to the property. They can work there at night time, daytime, weekends, whatever they want. But if they're living in the property, all bets are off. The deal's finished.
A lot of work, a lot of sweat and tears, I think. But worthwhile in the end because we've got our home now.
They're on their way, but 6 weeks to do a major overhaul, I don't know. And remember, they have to do it to Rick's high standards. Now, last week we met Paul and Hayley Hampton, who are renovating the house they're buying. Now, the thing is, they have to finish the renovation before taking possession or risk losing the lot. You got that?
Like that.
It's day one of ripping out the old and putting in the new in this rundown 4-bedder at Penrith, west of Sydney. Now, this is no ordinary reno. You see, Hayley and Paul are under the gun. They bought the house for $306,000. On the strict condition, they renovate it to the owner's satisfaction inside 6 weeks. Only then will they officially take possession. That was the deal they struck in exchange for paying no deposit on the house.
We'll get the tape measure and measure it.
But even on day one, the stress levels are heading for the red line.
What did you leave on?
What happened?
It all came out.
Out of what?
You left out of the bloody shower.
Now, what's making it even tougher for Hayley and Paul is they can't live in the house while doing the reno.
You didn't bring a saw either.
You could have.
You packed the car.
Now, who said what doesn't kill you only makes you stronger?
Sorry for snapping at you. You know I love you.
Right.
I do.
Well, you could have put the stuff in a car.
Ah, the joys of DIY renovating.
Well, that's out.
Bloody idiot. This is just awkward.
Uh-oh. Looks like a heavy dose of Reno reality is setting in.
Tell you what have we got ourselves into?
too much.
We'll get there.
I suppose. Eventually.
Oh, that looks all right.
This one looks better.
In Penrith, after a bleak start, Paul and Hayley's house gutting has turned up an unexpected bonus. Polished floorboards. But will they make for a squeaky bedroom?
We should take it.
Do you think it's suitable for parents?
Maybe not for us.
Now remember, Paul and Hayley only have 6 weeks to complete the job. So on day 2, they call in their secret Reno weapon. Rellos. And lots of them. That's Paul's cousin Lee. That's his dad Chris. And there's Hayley's dad, Les.
So do you have any more gloves?
And that's how it continued. Weekends, after work, before work, burning the midnight oil to get the house finished on time. Now, when it comes to creating a look for the house, Paul has mostly found himself deferring to Hayley.
Well, will you finish that today? Do you think? No, I'm just asking what will get done.
But there's one room in the house that he wants to call his own.
I'll use this for my music room. I'm a bass player, so I need a bit of space, and I think this was my room.
Now, to get the right creative ambience, Paul wants to paint his room black. Let's just say Hayley's not impressed.
And I said, no way. I mean, he's a 32-year-old man, not a 17-year-old boy.
Here to choose some colours for our house.
Your wife's already picked them.
Oh. Okay. What's the story with the pink? I thought I was coming down to pick some colours, but find out my job's already been done. I mean, I was actually sort of hoping for this, for the music room. Nice black, but no, I think we've got to go with these colours that are actually being picked out for me.
Mate, you've been done like a dinner. At Penrith, Paul and Hayley have revved up the work rate. With their deadline only a few days away, they're roping in favours. Uncle Peter's friend Dieter was doing the painting. Which reminds me, what colour is your music room, Paul?
No, the music room is not black. I was a bit iffy about it, but I really like the way it's turned out.
Two-tone. Now that's a compromise.
I think the music room looks excellent, actually. And it's not black, which is even better, so that's a win for me.
All right, mate. Can you manage it?
I'll see how we go.
One thing they both have to win is meeting the deadline. Their 6 weeks is almost up.
Only a couple of days to go. It's go, go, go today. We've got the plumber, the electrician, the floor sanding guys, the carpet guys. Yeah, even got the painter here. So it's all happening today.
The day of reckoning has come. Crunch time for Paul and Hayley.
Hello, how are you?
Rick Otten with his wife Jane are the owners of the house.
Hey, Rick.
G'day.
How are you?
Great.
They agreed to sell it to Paul and Hayley without a deposit on the strict proviso it was renovated to their specs. If Rick and Jane aren't satisfied, Paul and Hayley will have to keep renovating until they are.
Strength. Gee.
Amazing.
What'd you do with the old house?
Wow, what a great start. This is what the backyard used to look like. And this is what it looks like now. But check out the inside. From this to this. Bedrooms before and after. And now there's a fantastic kitchen.
So guys, can you give me an idea how much you've spent?
What was that? Roughly?
Roughly?
About $3,000.
$3,000.
Oh, nah. $3 grand. $3 grand. Come to our place.
Yep, $3,000. Rick was quoted 34 grand by his own tradies.
I couldn't have pictured that. I mean, I just don't have that eye. I could never have seen what they had turn to what they've got. I just couldn't see that.
Yeah, it was much more dramatic than I thought it would
phenomenal.
So, have they got their depositless home? You betcha.
Congratulations, there's the keys to the house.
Thank you very much.
All righty.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good on you guys. You deserve it.
Thank you.
I think you better hold on to them.
Everyone's a winner. Rick made a profit, and assuming his valuers are correct, Paul and Hayley are sitting on a house worth substantially more than they paid for it. Wouldn't it be great if every real estate deal went so well? And a big thank you to those brave souls who let our cameras into their lives. So until we meet again, may all your property dreams come true.